I'm currently playing Cold of Steel 2 on this. If you notice, as soon as I plug the USB-C there, that will disappear, and this will just be outputted right away. What's up, guys? This is your boy G back in another video. Shout out to JSAUX for sending this dock. This is the Steam Deck dock 6-in-1, right? Hard drive multifunction adapter. This came from JSAUX, right? JSAUX makes this, and this is a 6-in-1 dock for Steam Deck that has an M.2 NVMe enclosure. I believe they included a 1TB SSD here so that we can test, so we'll check that out. On the box, it's gonna say it's M.2 SSD, 100-watt fast charge, which is pretty nice. HDMI 4K at 60. There's also like a gigabit Ethernet port and 10 Gbps. I don't know what Gbps is. You know, I only know Gbps, but maybe that's something else. But yeah, so nothing else, not much on the box itself. Again, the 6-in-1 USB-C hard drive multifunction adapter. It says HB0604, right? So if you're gonna look for that, that's the model number. USB-C, right? Power delivery ×1, output HDMI 1, USB-A ×2, and RJ45, one, of course, one port. And power delivery supports up to PD 100-watt charge. HDMI supports up to 4K 60. USB 3.2 standard support 10 gigabit. Okay, that's more like it. Gbps, I think that the front is a typo. 5 volts, 1 amp power supply. Hard drive enclosure. Okay, M.2 SSD hard drive enclosure supports NVMe. Again, that's like a dad drive there. SATA protocol supports 10 gigabit, and that's the dimension, approximately 290 grams. By the way, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I unbox a lot of stuff like this, products that I purchased myself, or company sent me, so that you can check before purchasing a product. If you're interested in a product, you can definitely check if it's in your liking, or what are the contents of the box, things like that. So it will make you, or it will help you in your purchase decision, right? Consider subscribing. I put a lot of videos about Steam Deck, PlayStation, and other stuff, so that may help you in the future. But thank you so much. All right, when you open that up, by the way, this box is not kidding. It's tight, right? It's pretty thick. And as soon as you open, it says, "Hi, welcome to a new way to experience gaming on Steam Deck. We hope our docking station brings you a lot of exciting games. Happy gaming." Okay, I'm glad, or exciting moments. I'm glad that there's no typo whatsoever in that front page. Ooh, that's thick, boy. I thought that's just a paper, but I can smell that real quick. That's kind of like a mouse pad, right? An inverted mouse pad, but it smells nice. Okay, I'm probably gonna sniff that later on. This looks like a thermal pad for NVMe drive, right? For the SSD. So we'll check that later. Here I can see the dock itself. So let me open that up. Paperwork's underneath, of course. User guide, so you don't have to worry about that one because it's complete here. Now let me check what are the contents of this box first before we focus on the dock. There is like an adapter for UK plug, I believe. This is kind of like a UK plug or something. Wow, that's big. This is the power adapter for it. That amount of cabling is no kidding. That is so much. And this is the connector. So if you're in the US or in other parts in the country, you can use this, or you can use this plug, right? The one that we have earlier. That's why it looks like this. When you plug it like so, you now have the UK plug, right? Or that kind of plug if you prefer to use that. Otherwise, you can have a standard plug like this, like here in Philippines, and use it on the go. You won't actually need any adapter. Wow, thank you, JSAUX, for thinking that. That's pretty thoughtful from your R&D. Okay, there's also a USB-C adapter on the top. you know, like an L adapter, so you can put it on your Steam Deck, right, like so, and put all of your accessories on this side, right? That's pretty neat. I haven't seen any SSD yet, so I don't. Let me see if it's installed already inside. It doesn't have any separate box or anything, but whoa, this has some weight on it. Looks like this is metal, right? Oh yeah, it's absolutely a metal, aluminum, right? I think this is like an aluminum cast, or like a combination of some steel, but it's not plastic. If you're thinking it's plastic, it's not. It's quite heavy. You can definitely use this as a murder weapon, right? Smack it on the head. But that's the NVMe enclosure. We'll check that out. But in front, you have the JSAUX model there, of course, some rubber padding for your Steam Deck. Make sure that it's not being scratched. Underneath, you also have rubber feet. And then on the back, you do have the USB power delivery, USB-C port, HDMI, USB 3.2 and USB 3.2, another USB 3.2, and you have the Ethernet adapter on the side. This is the only thing that I don't like. I would have liked it to be here as well, like part of this, but I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Because it's too wide already if you're gonna cramp it with other stuff. But I don't like it here because it's going, if you're really going to use that, you will have a cable dangling on the left side, and it's not going to look pretty, right? It's not going to look as clean as possible. But since, you know, Steam Deck has Wi-Fi anyway, you really don't need that, especially on the Wi-Fi speeds nowadays. So here is the enclosure. Let me go ahead and open that up. You will just have to pinch it from this side, and the USB or the SSD is already there installed. It's really steel. I love how they make this, that they're not plastic, right? I really love that. This will serve as the heatsink, right? Heat spreader. And that's thoughtful. That's pretty good because it's gonna help it from temperature. That's gonna help dissipate the temperature. And it's very, very trendy. I like how it's designed, right? I love it. So this is like a screwless operation. I think that's the one that you saw earlier on the plastic. They gave you 2 more spare just in case you lost this one, but this is screwless. You just have to twist it like so, and the NVMe is here. This is a 1 terabyte Lexar, right? NM610 Pro Gen 3 x4 NVMe SSD, but you can upgrade it to 2 terabyte if you want. It's supporting that 2 terabyte as well. Imagine if you're playing like games, right? If you're playing games over your Steam Deck as a mobile device, the battery will deplete really quickly, rather quickly. If you're using AAA games or something like that, or really like graphic intensive games, right? It's gonna deplete really fast. I think it's gonna give you like 2 hours battery, top for intensive games. But on this one, since you're using a dock, right, it has power connector, so it will be connected to your power, right? And then so it's not gonna low bat, right? It's not gonna deplete the battery. And then you also can make use of the storage that the dock is offering, right? So that you can play your heavy games, which is also heavy in storage, right? Essentially, they're like big storage, probably even exceeding 100 gigs. I'm not talking about Call of Duty, but of course that's one part of it. But Call of Duty and other stuff, they will contain a lot of storage. And the good thing about that is, you would now have a choice to rather play them, right, on the dock, on your television, using the storage, using the power delivery, so you won't experience any low bat or whatsoever. And then you won't have to worry about your internal storage as well, or your SD card, because you're playing off a 1 terabyte SSD. that is a really good implementation, right? An idea, because you can now, you know, make use of your Steam Deck more of a PC, right? Like a PC, especially for those people that doesn't really have a PC. They probably have nothing, you know, but Steam Deck. So when they dock their Steam Deck, now they have kind of like a really good use case like a PC, right? Because they'll be able to make use of the power and the storage, the built-in storage, 1 terabyte. It still has some clearance on it, so it's pretty good. It can sit like here, like this one. It will rest like that, and it's moving a little bit, right? But once you're docked in front of your television, it's really not gonna move anymore. And then you put this on this part, and it's distanced perfectly. Let's go ahead and plug this in the television and do some testing. I'll be right back. All right, so here it is. I was actually surprised that the Steam Deck, at least dock, you know, for the dock mechanism, is just plug and play. I did not expect that. I thought I'm gonna need to do some things, you know, on the actual TV. But it turns out, because this is my first time using a dock, it's nothing. You don't need to do anything. It will automatically be outputted in your television right away. So right now on my television, it's just waiting for the HDMI input. So I already plugged in, you know, the HDMI there and the power. So I'm currently playing Cold of Steel 2 on this. If you notice, as soon as I plug the USB-C there, that will disappear, and this will just be outputted right away. That's basically it, right? It's very, very intuitive, and wow, I love it. I mean, even on PC, I'm having a difficulty, you know, utilizing that on PC. You have to set up, you know, some configuration on Windows and whatnot. But on this one, it works great, at least for the dock itself, right? We haven't tested the storage yet. I'm, by the way, using a DualSense controller. So I connected it to my dock. If you don't know how, it's just, you know, pressing the PlayStation button plus the share for a couple of seconds. It will be on the pairing mode, so you can pair it by Bluetooth. But it works great, right? It's, you know, it's here. So it's definitely working as intended. Pressing the PlayStation button is kind of like pressing the Steam. So it's there, and it's gonna show that it's connected via Bluetooth. Now you all, of course, you also have a couple of options here. If you go to the display, it will change, right? It'll give you external display scaling, automatically set resolution, automatic, you know, user interface or the UI, and scale image. Everything is in there as well. It's actually scaling at 4K. As you've noticed, at least my television is just, you know, of course, 4K. It's like playing PlayStation 5, right? It's on 4K right now, at least for the TV, and the Steam Deck is just compensating that, scaling or making it full screen so they can play your favorite game on that resolution. I have the temps on the left side. As you can see, the UI is scaled appropriately as well. So the temps are very minimal there, very small. They're in the top left corner. All right, great on deck, NBA. Just some walking around, seeing that again. This is a 50-inch Samsung TV, right? It's not like 120 hertz, just a 60 hertz 50-inch TV, but it looks great on this one, guys. The dock, JSAUX docks are pretty good, and especially this one that has a 1 terabyte storage on it. I love it. Now mind you though, if you go to the storage on this one, it's not gonna detect the dock itself, because the gaming mode of the Steam OS only detects the Steam Deck's hardware itself. So in order for you to use the 1 terabyte hard drive, you will have to go to the desktop mode or even use like Windows OS, right? If you're into that. Now that is super sharp, like make me want to play on this one occasionally as well. PlayStation controller works great, by the way. Alright, one neat trick of Steam Deck by docking it is you can set the resolution differently depending on your television and your preferred settings here. For example, let's go ahead and select 1080p. So again, these are the resolution. We're selecting 1080p right now. Alright, kind of like a PC. So it's now displaying on 1080p. And if we go here, you would see that from the left side, the UI is now pretty big, right? Comparing to the previous 4K one. For example, on that one, it's now set to 4K resolution. So if you go back on this one, you would see that the UI is very, very small now on the upper left corner there, because it's now being scaled to 4K, even though the resolution, the internal resolution for the game itself, is being rendered on whatever resolution the game is set to. Alright, so as you can see, it's super clean, even though this game is running on its internal resolution 720p as usual. It's very, very clean because of the FSR, right? Also, this is an older game and the temperature is not even that, not even being pushed to its limits. Now, the good news is the external hard drive, the SSD that is mounted on the actual dock, the desktop mode of the SteamOS detects that perfectly. So it says disk and devices external. I wonder though why it's saying it's external, right? It's like I. It's probably on the hard drive itself, on the SSD. But it says external and 931 gig free out of 931. So basically that's the 1 terabyte hard drive that we have. It's gonna ask if you want to mount, right, the actual storage, and then when you select mount, it will be able to use it as a storage device. So you can open it as file manager, and then you can now start installing games there or putting files, file stuff that you need. Again, but this is the storage, now the folder. If you go to the properties and then zoom in there, you would see it says 931. And that's the actual SSD enclosure already. All right, but that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Click the like button if you like this video. Comment down below if you have any questions regarding this dock, or if you have any opinions or experience, just go ahead and share it in the comments. Again, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. I upload a lot of videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and see you on my next one. Peace.